Hey everybody, this is John at the Creature Teacher, and this next animal I'm going to be showing you guys, she is she's one of my favorites, because she's cool, not because of her disposition or attitude. She can be a little feisty at times. Her name is Shiva, and Shiva is, lift up this wooden log thing right here. Shiva is turn the light on, there she is. This is an Asian forest scorpion. Get a close-up of her right there. Now, Asian forest scorpions, there's actually a variety of species of Asian forest scorpions. They, of course, most of them come from Southeast Asia. They're very common in the rainforests. Southeast Asia, along the forest floor. And some of the species are among the largest scorpions in the world. I actually had an entomologist tell me what species this is. Off the top of my head, I don't remember the scientific name of it. And he also sexed it for me, which was really nice of him. Found out originally when I purchased her, I was told by the person that sold it to me that it was a boy. It turns out she's a girl. Rather big one, too. Which would explain her feisty attitude. Females tend to be a little more feisty. It's not always the case, but they tend to be. And scorpions are a chelicerate, just like a spider, which basically means that right in front of their mouth they have a pair of legs. Now on spiders, those legs are modified into fangs. On a scorpion, see if I can get the camera down there in front of her face. This may or may not work very well. But on a scorpion, the camera's not going to focus. You can kind of see a little bit. Her first pair of legs are modified, and they look like little pinchers. They're difficult to see, unfortunately. But there looks like a little white line kind of in the center of her face right there. And that's where the pinchers are. They look like little pinchers, but they're basically front pair of legs that are modified to look like little pinchers. And that's what chews her food up, because just like spiders, her mouth is a little straw, so she has to drink her food. But instead of using fangs and venom, like a spider, to turn her food into a soup, she uses those little mouth parts to kind of chomp her food up. Now, scorpions sometimes you can't pick them up. Sometimes she is perfectly fine with being picked up. It does not bother her. She's a little bit of a mood right now. But it does make for a good video with her putting her claws up in the air. There you go. You can kind of see her there. There she is. There's that mouth right there with those pinchers. Right there. You can actually see her eyes look like two little glowing things on the top of her head. She's not digging the light being shined at her. She's saying, I do not like this. Now, all scorpions are venomous. Her stinger is right there. There's her stinger. Now, get asked a lot by a lot of kids, because when I do take her to programs, I do hold her. I'll put her on my hands. She'll walk around. And I do get asked by kids and adults, what would happen if she stung you? Well, if she stings you, it would hurt really bad. It would not feel that great. It would be like a pretty bad bee or wasp sting. You can tell how strong the venom of a scorpion is simply by looking at their pinchers, or their pedipalps, as they're called. And as you can see, her pinchers are enormous compared to her body. They're very large, meaning they have very big, strong muscles in them. So her pinchers are good at crushing things and smashing them to pieces. So that means her venom is not very strong. If you see a scorpion and it has teeny tiny little pinchers that look like little tweezers, and they're little teeny tiny things, that means the venom is very strong, and you do not want to pick that scorpion up or touch it or do anything to it. You want to leave it alone. All right? Now, when it comes to caring for scorpions, they're fairly easy animals to care for, just like a tarantula would be. Now, they are not going to climb up glass, so you can put them in an enclosure without a lid. She does have a lid, just because I do not want anything falling in this. Not that I have anything that could get out and fall in here, but just as a precaution, since she is venomous, I don't want her stinging something. They need water, and they like having a little something to hide under or burrow under, so she's got this little wooden log, and that's pretty much what she has. And she's good with that. When it comes to eating food, scorpions, unlike spiders, are actually, they have a pretty efficient food storage system in their body, and so they can go for long periods without eating. As you can see, her body is kind of fat. You can see along the side of her body there, it goes from that dark purplish black to there's that light gray. Her body is nice and stretched out, and she actually has not eaten for a long time, probably a couple months now at this point. There was a point where she was eating a large cricket almost every day. She was going crazy with it, and then a couple months ago I would notice that I would throw crickets in there, and I would just find them dead. Not eaten, not chewed up, not anything, just they'd just be lying next to the water dish. Usually in the corner there's actually a cricket right there right now. That guy's alive. I've been throwing in one about once a week just to see if she eats it, and she really hasn't been. She's not sick and anything like that. Scorpions just sometimes can go for a long period without food. They're really good at storing their food energy. So she's eaten enough. She doesn't need to eat anymore. So, I mean, she really... Oh, turned off the light on accident, my bad. She really does not... She really just doesn't have to eat. Now, scorpions can also do something really cool that the other members of their... that the other relatives of their group cannot do. So things like spiders, sun spiders, vinegaroons cannot do this, but she can. Now, if I turn this light off, and let's pretend it's nighttime, and I have a black light, UV light. So this is visible UV light that we can see. Normally we cannot see UV light with our own eyes. A scorpion can. So if I take it and I bring it over to where she is, and woo! So all scorpions can do this. All scorpions, all true scorpions. You can see her body fluoresces. She is not glowing in the dark. She is fluorescing. So she has some minerals in her exoskeleton. One of them is called beta-carboline that produce, when UV light hits them, it does this. Now, we are not 100% sure why this happens. The last time I read this, apparently they're studying this at the University of Oklahoma. So if you like the Sooners, go Sooners. If you hate them, then, oh well, it's fine. At the University of Oklahoma, they were studying why scorpions are able to do this, and they believe what they think it is that when UV light hits them, so these animals are active at nighttime, and when they're out walking around the forest or in the desert, if moonlight hits them, and remember, moonlight is just light that's reflected from the sun, so it has UV light in it. When that moonlight hits their body, it causes their exoskeleton to do this. Now, we could not see it without this special black light, but when the UV light hits it, it causes their body, whatever part of it is being hit, to fluoresce. And so what they believe it does is because the scorpion's eyes are sensitive to UV light, it lets them know that light is touching them and that they are visible. They may be seen. So that's what they think. It's kind of like a warning system, like a little early warning system saying, hey, you're visible, get under cover so that something doesn't find you. Because even though these are predators and they can sting and they have large claws, there are a lot of animals that do eat these guys. So they are not invincible, even though she is scary looking and formidable looking with those big claws and that stinger. These are not invincible animals. Try to get a close-up. You can see those two eyes on top of her head really well. Those are the ones that are good at sensing movement and light and motion above her. And then her other 6 eyes are on the front of her head. Those are a little more difficult to see. They're not as large. Get a good look at Shiva there. Anyways, that's Shiva, our Asian forest scorpion. She's probably a little grumpy because, doesn't like having light shined at her. Again, this is a nocturnal animal. She likes being in her little house. Put her house back in here. Kind of put it in front of her. There you go, sweetie. Don't you want to go into it? No? Okay. Oh, there you go. There you go. All right. You can see, there she is, poking her little face out. She says it's quarantine. Stay away, please. Social distancing. Get a good look at her face. She does not have a pretty face. All right. Anyways, guys, that was Shiva. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, feel free to like, subscribe, share the videos. And check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And as you can always also check us out on our website at thecreatureteacher.org. And this has been John with The Creature Teacher. Hope you guys had a great time. We'll see you later.